So today's lesson is connecting fractions and division, and this is part 2, again with more story problems. So problem number 1. Julia came home from school to find that her mom had made 3 sandwiches. So again, I'm going to underline that important information. She had 3 friends with her. The 4 of them, so I'm going to make sure I underline that, decided to share the sandwiches equally. How much of these sandwiches did each friend get? So again, I like to draw pictures here, so I'm going to make them, kind of like some sub sandwiches here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 3 sandwiches, and I am dividing them into 4 pieces each because I have four people here. So I'm going to cut it into fourths. Again, I can check my work. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Cut this sandwich into fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally my third sandwich into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go in and number them. So friend number 1 is getting this piece, and this piece, and this piece. Friend number 2 is going to get this piece, and this piece, and this piece. 1 piece of each sub sandwich. This is friend number 3. And finally, friend number 4. So now I need to go back and see, okay, how much did each friend get? So I'm going to look at this blue number 1. So right here, friend number 1 is getting 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4 total. And again, coming down to this sandwich, friend number 1, this blue friend right here, is getting 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4 total. And finally again, friend number 1 is getting 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4 total. So now I'm going to add those up, and I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, which equals 3/4. So how much of the sub sandwiches? 3/4 of the 3 sandwiches is how much one person is going to get. So I'm going to also write down my number model here. I have 3 sandwiches divided by 4 friends, and my answer is 3/4. And as we continue with these math problems, start to see if you notice a pattern with my number model and then also my answer. All right, so I'm going to move down to my second problem here. Okay. Angela's family is having dinner. There are 2 small pans of lasagna and 5 people. If each person gets the same amount, how much lasagna will they get? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my pans of lasagna. Here's 1 pan, and here's 2 pans. Okay, so I'm going to write my number model up first so we can look at it before we start. I have 2 pans of lasagna divided by 5 people. And so we're going to look at this when we come back to our answer here. Okay, so I'm going to take 1 pan, and I'm going to cut it into 5 pieces for the number of people that I have. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 pieces. Again, counting to always make sure I have the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go ahead and label these this time so that we can see that. Here's 1/5, and 1/5, and 1/5, and 1/5, and 1/5. And how I get that number is this is 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is 1/5 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1 piece out of 5, 1 piece out of 5, and 1 piece out of 5. Okay, so if I have 5 people here, I'm going to give them 1 piece from each pan. So this blue person's going to get this one and this piece. 1. Here's my second person. Here's my third person. Here's my fourth person. And here's my fifth person. And again, I like to use color just so that it helps me see my problem a little bit better. Okay, so if I'm going to do the green person here today. If I am this person right here, I am eating this piece, which is 1/5, and I'm also eating this piece, which is also 1/5. So if I were to add those together, 1/5 from this pan and 1/5 from the second pan, that's going to equal 2/5 of the lasagna. So again, I'm going to go back up to my number model here. I had 2 pans of lasagna divided by 5 people, and my answer is 2/5 of the lasagna. So maybe you are starting to kind of see that pattern. All right, and I have one last example for us to look at. Coach Dan brought 3 cartons of orange juice to split among 8 students. How much orange juice will each student receive? Okay, so I have 3 cartons of orange juice and 8 students. So I'm going to write my number model out before I start, which is 3 cartons divided by 8 people. So let's see our answer here. Here's carton number 1. It's a big carton of orange juice. 1, second carton, and third carton. So again, I have 8 students, so I'm going to divide this carton up into 8 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines give me 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again 7 lines give me 8 pieces. Okay, so here are my cartons of orange juice, and I have 8 students. So I'm going, each piece in here, if I were to look at it, would be 1/8 because it's 1 out of 8. This is 1 out of 8. And 1 out of 8. So if I have 8 students, they're going to get 1 piece from each jug, 1, 2, and 3. So if I were to write that out, 1/8 from this jug, 1/8 from the second jug, and 1/8 from the third jug. So if I add those together, I have 1 plus 1 plus 1/8, which equals 3/8 total. So if I put that up in my answer, 3/8. So 3 cartons of orange juice divided by 8 students equals 3/8. So if you start to see that pattern right now, the dividend of your division problem always equals the numerator. Which your numerator is right here, and your dividend. Then also, your divisor always equals your denominator. So I'm going to have this guy right here, and this one right here. So just kind of keeping that in mind as you're doing your problems, that is one of the patterns that you should have hopefully started to see throughout this lesson. So here is your lesson practice. You have 2 problems. Make sure that you write out each problem and their answers. Number 1, Sam and Kim are having waffles. There are 5 waffles. How much does each person get? Number 2, Miss Lee has a 10-pound package of clay. She wants to divide it among 6 students. How much clay will each student get?